This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in the last class or before that, we discussed about forces. So in forces, we discussed regarding friction also. So what is friction actually? Friction is nothing but it is a force. Okay, so which resists the motion of the one object moving relative to the another object. Okay, so otherwise we can say force exerted by surface when object moves across it. So already I have given you example of friction, table and book if you consider. So there is a friction between book and table. Okay, whether it is at rest or in motion. Okay, so the book is at rest or it is in motion. The force between table and book is nothing but frictional force. Okay, so just we studied like friction comes under electromagnetic force. Okay, so see here it is not a fundamental force like gravity or electromagnetism. Okay, but it is the result of electromagnetic attraction between charged particles in two touching surfaces. Okay, so wherever you find the contact between the surface, okay, whether it is those are charged particles or like matter means solid particles, whether uh, it is solid or charged particles, wherever you find contact between the two surface, the that force between the surface is known as frictional force. So we have different types of friction. Okay, so the two main friction types are static friction and kinematic friction. So as you know, the word static itself says that stationary, okay, or there is no movement, or we can say the object is at rest. So that is static friction. And what is kinematic friction or kinetic friction? Kinetic is kinetic is all about study of motion. Okay, so the friction in which we see the objects are moving or the objects are under motion, those type of friction are known as kinetic friction. Okay, so that is the difference between static friction and kinetic friction. So next slide. So if you see here, two types of friction, main types of friction we have. Other than this, we have more two types of friction, but the main friction types are these two frictions. So static friction and kinetic friction. See, read this point. Static friction operates between two surfaces that are not moving relative to each other, while kinetic friction acts between objects in motion. Okay, that is the difference between static friction and kinetic friction. So the next point is, in liquids, friction is the resistance between moving layers of a fluid, which is also known as viscosity. So viscosity is nothing but it is also a force, but it is also like it acts like frictional force, but it is in liquids. So for liquids we consider the force as viscosity. So the resistance between moving layers of fluid. So opposition opposes one layer is opposed by another layer. You all know that friction always acts opposite to the applied force. Okay, so the direction in which we apply the force, exactly the opposite to that the frictional force we can find. Okay, so that is regarding static friction and kinetic friction in brief. In general, more viscous fluids are thicker, so honey has more fluid friction than water. So suppose you take honey. Okay, if you pour honey, it doesn't move on the surface like fastly, but if you pour some water, it flows. Okay, but honey doesn't flow. Why? Because it is thick. So that type of thickness, actually viscosity is what? Thickness. So that thickness, viscous fluids are thicker. So honey has more fluid friction. Okay. So honey is having more fluid friction. Water, what happens? It flows. But honey, it stays, or uh, sometimes it flows, or if it is flows also, slightly it moves. Okay. But there is no movement in the honey and surface, honey on the surface. Okay. So that type of friction is static friction. So from this point we can say that more fluid friction is nothing but what? Which has more fluid friction? That is static friction. Means in static friction we have the friction with the surface is greater when compared to the friction in kinetic frictional force. Okay. So next, okay, let's see static friction in detail. So see, in the figure we have when two bodies do not slip on each other, the force of friction is called static friction. So here, see here we have in the picture, he is pushing the solid, that solid body or object whichever we have. So it is pushed by a person. So what happens here? It is opposing the resisting force between two solid surfaces. Okay, one one surface is down, earth. Okay, and another one is that block, so wooden block. Okay, so there is a opposition between the two surfaces. So that is what static friction. So it is not under motion. Okay, it is not in motion. So that is why it is known as static friction. And it is not slipping. Do not slip on each other means we can say the object is not moving. Okay. So static friction acts in the direction that prevents slipping. Okay. So how we determine the direction of static friction? uh, Static friction always acts in the direction that prevents slipping. Okay. If you consider slide. Okay. So in on slide, if you are sliding from top to bottom, you slide. Okay. So in which direction your slipping is prevented? Up, upward direction, or at the top. So the static friction is exactly where it is, on the top. Okay. So that is what the meaning of that point. Okay. That, or we can say direction of static friction. So static friction is what? Where the object is at rest. So when you are sitting on a slide, you are at rest. Once you start sliding, then what happens? You slips. Means you're you are not prevented there. Okay. You come at the bottom. Okay. So at the top only you have static friction there. So we can determine the direction of static friction at the top of the slide. So there is general, actually there is a mistakes. Okay. There is no general equation for, I have to add there no, but it is printing mistakes or typing mistakes, sorry. So there is no general equation of static friction. So we cannot determine the general equation for static friction. Some assumptions are there, but there is no particular equation for this friction. Okay, sir. Next. Sir, next. Okay. So generally there is no equation, but we can write static friction as maximum friction equals to mu s. Actually it is subscript f. S is subscript. Here s determine the static friction, and f maximum frictional force, and mu is what? Coefficient of friction. Mu s, actually s means static friction. So here it is coefficient of static friction, and Fn is what? This is normal force. You know that normal force is always perpendicular to the object. So see here, a towel hanging on a rack. Okay, so this is example for static friction. So is it moving? No, but it is simply hanging on the rack. It is at rest, but how it is staying there? Okay, so there is a friction between towel and the rack. Okay, so that type of friction is known as static friction. Okay, so next, okay, how to find the direction of static friction? Newton's first law or second law can often used to find the direction of static friction. So you all know about Newton's first and second laws. So in the first law, what happens there? Uh, until unless we apply some external force, the object is at rest. Okay, or if the object is in motion, until we apply some external force, it will in the motion itself. Okay, so that is the Newton's first law. And what is second law? Second law is nothing but it determines force as mass, the product of mass and acceleration. So these two laws are used to find the static friction. Okay, so the direction of static friction on a body is such that total force acting on it keeps it at rest with respect to the body in contact. So just now we saw on example of slide. Okay, so there what happened? It prevents the static friction where there is no movement, when the body is at rest. Okay, with respect to the body in contact. Contact means you and slide. Okay, so the two bodies, your body and the slide, the two bodies are in contact. When it is at rest, there we can prevent the static friction. So then the total force is keeping it at rest. So how you are staying at rest there? So there is something force. Okay, we that force is not known to us. Okay, so that is what? Static friction. So another way is for how to determine the movement. Consider two surface of frictionless. Okay, if you consider two frictionless surface, means there is no friction. Okay, so what happens when the friction is absent? Then what happens? Automatically the body starts slipping. Okay, so uh, if there is no friction between you and slide, there is no rest at all. Okay, at the top also there is no rest, automatically you get slipped. Okay, uh, if you are not started to slide also, you may get slide. Okay, so that is frictionless. If the bodies are frictionless, then that thing happens. Okay, so in the absence of friction, the two bodies get slipped. So then what happens? If it is slipping means you can find the direction of friction as opposite to the velocity with respect to the body applying the friction. So just now I told that we can find the direction which is opposite to the slipping object. Okay, so here easily we can find the direction of the static friction, which is opposite to the moving object or object where the friction is taking place. So that is static friction, and how to find the direction of the static friction. So next, so otherwise we can say static friction as objects start moving from rest. Okay, starts moving from rest is a measure of static friction. So what happens at first in static friction? There is an object which is at rest, then it starts moving. So that measure is known as static friction. So here, okay, so we need to discuss about limiting friction also. Limiting friction comes under static friction only. Okay, so limiting, the word itself says that limiting friction means friction also having some limit. Okay, if it is out of limit, then there is no friction. Okay, or otherwise it may be kinetic friction. So this is static friction. Limiting friction comes under static friction. See here, it is nothing but the highest friction, or we can say maximum friction occurred between the two surfaces. See, it is the highest value of static friction which comes into play when an object is just about to slide over the surface of a different object. Okay, see here, F maximum is opposite to the what? Applied force. So for an exerted external force greater than the limiting friction, the body begins to move. So what this point mean? It means if external force is greater than the limiting friction, then body begins to move. Means here clearly you can say that it is under static friction. Means if the external force which we are applying is greater than the frictional force, so at rest also the two surfaces, whether they are in contact or in motion, I said that they are having the frictional force. So here, before the two surfaces which are in contact are at rest, okay, there we have one level of friction, that is maximum frictional force. After that maximum frictional force, if we apply the external force, or we can say applied force is greater, then what happens here? Then body starts moving. Moving means once the body is in motion, we can say that it is in kinetic friction. So here, once the motion started, static friction cannot be considered. Okay, so static friction cannot be considered means, of course, it is kinetic friction. Okay, so a new type of friction termed as kinetic friction comes into play. Then another friction we can name, or we can term it as kinetic friction. Okay, sir. Next. Okay, now we see about kinetic friction. So when two solid bodies slip over each other, the force of friction is called kinetic friction. Okay, see here, pushing force. Pushing force means nothing but applied force, or we can say external force. So when we apply some force on a object, okay, which is in contact with surface, then what happens? There is a motion in the object, so object is moving. So we know that uh, we have frictional force in opposite to the applied force. So there is a friction occurred between the two objects. So that is about kinetic friction, and in figure you can observe the kinetic friction. So if you want to note down, you can note down. Okay, so next. Okay, so for example, see, suppose a body A placed in contact with B is moved with respect to it. Just now that example, explanation of that example only. The force of friction acting on A due to B will be opposite to the velocity of A with respect to B, and vice versa. Understood? Okay, hope you understood this point. So there we are having two objects A and B. Okay, so what happens here? Force of friction acting on A, object A, which is at the top, Okay, so there what happens? Due to B is what? Surface will be opposite to the velocity of A. Okay, so as the body is moving in forward direction, okay, and uh, frictional force is from opposite direction. So velocity is always in the direction in which the body moves. Okay, so that is the meaning of this point. So will be opposite to the, here what they are saying simply, frictional force is opposite to the velocity of the object. Okay, so with respect to B, why we are taking with respect to B means it is in contact with the object A. So there only we can observe na, what where we can observe friction, when two bodies are in contact, then only we can observe friction, otherwise we can't. Okay, so that is the meaning of this point, that frictional force is what? Always opposite to the velocity of the object. Okay, next, the force of kinetic friction opposes the relative motion. Okay, so equation for kinetic friction can be written as Fk, that defines K is in subscript. Okay, mu K is what? Coefficient of kinetic friction, and Fn is normal force. Next, uh, where Fn is what? Normal force. Now, what is this proportionality constant? Mu K. Mu K is what? Proportionality constant. How we got this proportionality constant? Here, in laws of friction we will read about this. Okay, next we'll see in laws of friction. So here if you read this point, the proportionality constant mu K is called the coefficient of kinetic friction, and its value depends on the nature of the two surfaces in contact. Okay, so it depend, value is always dependent on the nature of two surfaces which are in contact. In nature, there are no completely frictionless environment even in deep space. Okay, so in nature there is no completely frictionless environment. Uh, yes, it is true. If you observe, like, there is no frictionless. Frictionless means when it is frictionless, then automatically everything gets slipped. It will not stay, or it is the objects may not be stationary. Okay, like we are sitting, we are standing, we can't even stand if there is no friction. So friction is very important in our nature, in our environment, universe. Okay, so even in deep space, tiny particles of matter may interact, causing friction. Okay, so in the interaction of matter also we need friction. So how important friction is, you can say. Okay, according to above equation, so this, from this equation, Fk equals to mu K into Fn, the coefficient of kinetic friction does not depend on the speed of the sliding bodies. Okay, so here the coefficient of kinetic friction does not depend on the speed of sliding bodies. Next, sliding bodies means it is nothing but sliding friction, we can say. Next we'll study regarding this. Okay, sliding means also it is having movement. Okay, in under kinetic friction again we have two sub frictions. What are those? One is sliding and another is rolling. So we will see regarding sliding and rolling also in the next slide. Okay, so next, okay, we also observe from that equation the normal force, that is Fn, is same. Uh, the frictional force is independent of the area of the surface in contact. Okay, so for this, in order to understand that, you see this example. So what happened here? There is a rectangular slab uh, which is slid over a table. or sliding over a table, we can say. The frictional force is same whether the slab lies flat on the table or it stands on its face of smaller area. Okay, see here what happens. It is that rectangular slab is standing, means its smaller area is covering the table. One more slab you can imagine here. If this slab only, if it is placed horizontally, means flat, it is placed flat on the table, then what happens, it covers more area. So here what in the above point we say force is independent of the area of surface in the contact. So here smaller area it is covering. Okay, the rectangular slab is covering smaller area of the table. So there you say the friction is less when compared to when it is placed horizontally, then it is covering more area. Then we will say friction is more. No, that is not the point. Okay, whether area is smaller or larger, the frictional force is always the same. Okay. Okay, sir. Next. Okay, one example uh, related to kinetic friction. A boy is playing volleyball. Okay, volleyball. Then calculate the kinetic friction. If the friction of coefficient is 0.8 and thrown with the force of 200 Newton. So first of all, we know the formula of force kinetic friction. Then Fk equals to mu k into Fn. Thrown with the force of 200 Newton means, of course, that force is what? Normal force, which is perpendicular to the surface. So substitute the values given here. Coefficient of kinetic friction is 0.8 and normal force 200. So from the formula, if you substitute, you will get kinetic friction equals to 160 Newton. Okay, here we are considering units as Newton because friction is also a force and the unit of force is Newton. So that is the example for kinetic friction. Okay, sir, next. Okay, now we'll see the laws of friction. So we have 5 laws of friction. So first one is, when an object is moving, the friction is proportional and perpendicular to the normal force. Means mathematically we can say F is directly proportional to the Fn, or we can say N. Normal force can also be denoted by capital N. So directly proportional to the normal force means from this point we can say uh, greater the normal force, then what happens? Greater will be the friction. Okay, so that is first law. Friction is independent of the area of contact so long as there is an area of contact. Okay, so just now we saw in that example rectangular slab. So friction is independent of the area of contact. So it will not see whether the area is smaller or larger. So it only measures the friction or the force, with frictional force we can say. Okay, so what is normal force? Actually normal force is nothing but it is a support force, okay, which is exerted on the object by the surface it is sitting on. Okay, so if you consider book and table, the book is what? It is applying the normal force, means it is sitting on the table. Book is placed on the table, means it is applying normal force on the table. So that is normal force. So normal force changes based on the object. Okay, and okay, 2 laws complete. Next, third law. Third law is what? The coefficient of static friction is slightly greater than the coefficient of kinetic friction. Okay. Coefficient is greater than the coefficient of static friction is more. Okay. As we in the previous slide we studied that static in static friction we observe more frictional force. Okay. Why? Because it is at rest. So in that we have greater frictional force when compared to kinetic friction. Okay. So if greater frictional force in static friction, then we have the coefficient of static friction is slightly greater than that of the kinetic friction. Coefficient is nothing but it is a number. Okay. We will see about coefficient of friction also. Okay. So within next law, within within large limits, kinetic friction is independent of velocity. Okay. We also observe this velocity. So kinetic friction is independent of the velocity because it is coming opposite to the motion of the object. Okay. So the velocity is a vector quantity as I explained you in the first class. Okay. So whether you are remembering all the uh, definitions and whatever I am teaching, hope you will remember. So velocity is what? Velocity is having direction. Vector means it is nothing but which is having both magnitude and direction. So here velocity is a vector quantity. It is moving in the direction of the applied force. So from opposite there is a frictional force. So the friction is independent of the velocity, we can say. Okay. Uh, Within large limits means which is greater than the limiting friction. Okay, large limits means it is greater than the limiting friction where the body starts moving. We are studying about kinetic friction means there is a motion in the object. Friction depends upon the nature of the surface in contact. So friction depends on what? Nature of the surfaces in contact. Okay. So force of friction always opposes the applied force. So if you nature of the surface means if the surface is heavy or surface is rough means less friction you have. If it is smooth, more friction you have. Okay. Likewise, it depends on the nature of the surfaces which are in contact. Okay. So next. Okay, now coefficient of friction. So what do you mean by coefficient of friction? Uh, it is nothing but a value that shows relationship between two objects and the normal reaction between the objects that are involved. Okay, so coefficient of friction, what it states or what it shows the relationship between the two objects which are in contact and the normal reaction between the objects. Normal reaction is what? That is nothing but the amount of friction force we are getting. Okay, so those are explained by coefficient of friction. The coefficient of friction is what? Dimensionless. Okay, just now I told you it is nothing but a number. Coefficient of friction is number. Number is having no dimension. Okay, it is dimensionless and it does not have any unit. It is scalar. Okay, it is having only magnitude, that is length. There is no direction for coefficient of friction, meaning the direction of force does not affect the physical quantity. Okay. Okay, sir. Next. Angle of repulse. Okay. So angle of friction also I should explain you. but in the next slide I will. So what is angle of repose? Angle of friction is denoted by theta, okay, and angle of repose is denoted by phi, okay. So here it is nothing but a critical angle, okay, or a granular material is the steepest angle of descent or dip relative to the horizontal plane to which a material can be piled without slumping. Means what happening here? Suppose you are placing granules, okay. At the top you will find one angle, okay. Anything, if you are like any powdered things also, like turmeric only you are pouring in some um, container, then what happens? It first it covers larger area, then automatically it comes up, and next what happens? There you get one sharp angle like structure, okay. So it formed like a cone. If you observe in the diagram, in the example, it is appearing like cone, okay. So angle of cone, here it is taken by that one end to the here at the mouth of the cone. So that is nothing but angle of repose, okay. So this is a brief note about angle of repose. Much more to discuss about this, okay. So what happens at this angle? The material on the slope face is on the verge of sliding, okay. So what happens here? Material, like how it forms cone. If it goes up, and then what happens? It slightly uh, comes to comes to slide, okay. Means it is coming down, means it is sliding from rest to the motion, okay. So it gets slide, then here uh, at the mouth, or we can say the circular part is the area covered by the granular particle is in the circular path, okay, which is in circle. So more area is covered at the bottom when compared to the top. So the angle between these two, this is nothing but diameter of the cone, we can say. Circle, if you have circle, you can imagine diameter of the circle there. From diameter to one end, between these two we are considering one angle, that is nothing but angle of repose, okay sir. Next, and the range between angle of repose is 0 degree to 90 degrees. What are the applications of friction? Okay, first application, it is possible to write on books and boards as there is friction between pen and the board, you all know, okay. As you are writing on your notes right now, uh, then there is a friction, okay. If there is no friction, you can't write. If you put your pen, then it gets slip, okay. uh, so there is, if there is no friction, we can't write. So one application, and one another, motion of pistons in a cylinder is an application of friction. So in cylinder we have pistons, so the motion of that piston is also example for friction. So if there is no movement in that piston, and which is on the top of the cylinder, then we can say it is frictionless, okay. So that is nothing but applications of friction, okay sir. Okay, uh, next, rolling and sliding friction. These two frictions are sub frictions under kinetic friction, we can say, because rolling means there is a movement, and sliding means it also, we can say, the object is in motion. So these two comes under kinetic friction. So for a moving solid body, there are two principal types of friction that act upon it. So what are those? See here, the force resisting the motion of the rolling body on a surface is known as rolling friction or rolling resistance. Rolling of ball or wheel on the ground is an example of rolling friction. So you may have seen wheels, okay, in villages or wherever you have seen. See, uh, children will play. They take one wheel and another hand they catch one stick. Okay, with that stick they keep on rolling the wheel. Okay, so it doesn't fall wheel, so there is a friction, okay, rolling of wheel. So that depends on you. If you know well to roll it, you can roll. So that rolling, how it is possible means there is a friction. Okay, so example of that is rolling friction. The other type of friction is sliding friction. In this type of friction, there is a restriction on the body's movement, as only one side of the body is in contact with the surface. Pushing a box across the table is an example of sliding friction. Okay, so here not both the side of the bodies are used. Okay, so only one side of the body is used. Suppose you are pushing the box across the table, means you are using your front side only, not back side. Okay, so in sliding friction, what happens here, only one side is used. In rolling, it is whole body is used in rolling. Okay, rolling means the wheel is rolling, ball is rolling, means the whole body or whole area is covered by that object. But in sliding friction, only one side of the body is used. Um so we can say rolling friction is weaker than the sliding friction. Okay, so from starting onwards we are saying that static friction is having more friction, greater friction than kinetic friction. Means of course sliding friction is having more friction, or we can say sliding friction is stronger when compared to the rolling friction. So these are the sub frictions, or the frictions which comes under kinetic friction. So that's all. So next, so you can see the difference between sliding friction and rolling friction. So here rolling means wheels. You have wheels attached to that object. Okay, down in the bottom figure if you observe. So the wheels are rolling. So that is rolling friction. Whole wheels are used. Means whole body is used to roll. Here sliding means that smaller surface only used to slide. Okay, by the object. So that is sliding and rolling friction. Hope you all understood. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. So next, so examples we can see. A bike with a broad tire will burn more fuel because of the increased rolling friction. So see, if you are having the rolling friction, more rolling friction, means it is also one, we can say this is a disadvantage. Okay, so nowadays we see bikes having like broad tires. Okay, means it is having more rolling friction. More rolling friction means more fuel is burned. Whatever petrol you will pour into that bike, so it consumes more fuel when compared to the narrow tires. Okay, and a child sliding down through a slide in a car. This is example for sliding friction. Okay, next. So this is overview of whatever I explained now. Uh, so static friction means no motion. Sliding friction means sliding motion you have. Rolling friction. So rolling body, rolling object you have in that. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you one and all. So if you have any doubts, you can ask now.